Hello again, welcome back to the next episode in this series of tutorials on romantic crazy quilts. Let's get back to our quilt block and see how it's progressing. Right, here we have the stitching done, and as you can see it's just a curve here, quite a small piece really. And this one isn't one that folds back. I can see we need to remove this excess fabric here on the curve. Just take that off like that. Go into the corners because they're obviously the important bits, and then just a little bit in the middle. Now I've got to decide which way. I think we'll have the lines coming down. So I'm just going to make sure that they are. What I tend to do is I find a slubby bit like that, then I know that it's aligned down here. Look, you can see how that line goes down, and I've got enough here for cutting. Right, that little bit's been secured, and obviously we need to trim round it. I tend to sort of pull the silk away as I'm trimming. You do tend to get rogue threads, unfortunately, with silk, but you can always pull them away afterwards. I'll just trim that off like that out of the way, and you can see the shape there. All right, now that's our four pieces all attached, and actually waiting now for all the embroidery stitches. The first thing the machine will do now is just do a securing square all the way round to make sure that each one is held in place, because at the moment only this one on that corner has done that. So I'm going to take this back to my machine. I don't think it'll be coming off the hoop of the embroidery unit again, so I'll take the camera over there as well, and we'll stitch out all the embroidery on top of these squares, or fabric pieces should I say. Hello everybody. I've now moved the camera over here by my epic, and I'm going to do the remainder of the stitching. It's very hard to get the angle right for embroidery so that I can talk to you and you can see, but hopefully the more tutorials I do, the better I'll get at putting you just in the right place so you can see what's happening. You'll have to excuse me, it's a really hot, humid afternoon here in the south of England, but it's pouring with rain. Anyway, back to our nice romantic crazy quilt. Let's do the next stitch out, which I think is just going to secure the last piece of fabric that we put on. It's going to do the little square bit over there. Now do remember when you're, let me finish the machine, I can't talk above it. Do remember when you're stitching out that there is the option on some machines to use the foot pedal as you would do for ordinary sewing, and that way you have control over the speed that your machine is stitching out. Sometimes when you're attaching bits of fabric like this, you want to have absolute control, and you may want to move things slightly, and you've got two hands free and you haven't got to press a button up here. It's all being worked by your foot. So just a little tip if you want to get a little bit more control. Now the other side of my machine here, I have my laptop with the stitch out on, and I'm just moving through each stitch way to see what's going to be stitched out next. The next stitch out is just a box round the whole design, holding these bits of fabric in place. So it's very important as it moves around that they are laying completely flat so that there are no tucks in the corner. I'll just stitch that out and then we'll do the embroidery. Those are all our 5 pieces all secured nicely, and we're first of all we're going to do is a motif stitch that covers this green here. Now if you're familiar with my work, you know that I love to choose my colours as I'm working. I'm going to do this a little bit today, but I opened this design in my embroidery software, and I did work through it and try and guess what the colours would be that I should use. So I do have a rough idea, but the chances are that I will change them as we're going. For my first colour, I've chosen Sulky 1128, which is like a coffee colour, which will look lovely on that green. So I'm happy with that choice that I've made. That's all for this video. There'll be another one in this series following shortly. Hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next video.